come the Hawks, the mighty Blackhawks. Take the attack, yeah, and we'll back you, Blackhawks. You're flying high now, so let's wrap it up. Let's go, you Hawks. Move on. Now all about. Here come the Hawks. Here comes the Hawks.
My Chicago Blackhawks get the first pick in the NHL draft.
They should pick Wayne Gretzky.
They're going to take Conor Bedard,
Bedard.
this kid who is...
Help with the live stream?
This kid who is the next great white hope in hockey. Not since Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, going to the Pittsburgh Penguins some time ago. He's mid-30s now, but he was 18 years old. I was still doing some stuff in Pittsburgh with the Penguins when Sidney Crosby came in, and that was a city that had already borne witness to the legend of Mario Lemieux. But the Chicago Blackhawks have gotten themselves the number one overall pick in the NHL draft, and they have sold $3 million in tickets in 2 hours because they are sure that they're going to grab 17-year-old Conor Bedard, who is supposed to be the next hockey phenom. So the people there at the front office for the Blackhawks can't wipe the smiles off their faces.
Do you think they're going to make him like a theme song because he's going to be so popular? Maybe adapt the Black Eyed Peas song from Let's Get It Started to Let's Get Bedarded in here. Let's get it bedarded.
Oh, you said Black Eyed Peas. For whatever reason, I was thinking Black Keys. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, listen, we had the number one pick with the Bears. We got it with the Hawks. How's about them Bulls? We could use a number one. Yeah, I know, but still. We could use that number one. We got Derrick Rose as a number one pick. They don't always work out. We know in Cleveland, the number one picks don't always work out. That's putting it lightly.
Bennett. Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I would say this is a good year to get the number one pick if you are the Bulls. Getting Wembayana.
Yeah.
That guy's going to be good.
Yeah. So at least the Blackhawks are most likely going to grab this kid. He's been on the NHL's radar since he was 14 years old. They call him a once-in-a-generation player along the lines of Sidney Crosby or Wayne Gretzky.
Just think back what you were doing at 14 and imagine adults being interested in you and being like, oh, you could do this professionally.
No one was interested in me. My peers weren't interested in me. Adults weren't in 1985.
I talk about this in my new hour that I'm working on, but I was a bedwetter, and I didn't stop wetting the bed until I was 14. So there's people that are getting looked at 14 years old, and they're like, this guy's going to be the next best hockey player of all time. And I wouldn't even have people be looking at him like, well, maybe once he stops wetting the bed, he could be something. Oh, people live such wildly different lives. It's really not fair.
The Blackhawks went into the lottery with an 11% chance of getting the first pick. The only two teams that were they were behind Anaheim and Columbus. The Blue Jackets stink. The Ducks and the Blackhawks all stink. So the Blackhawks did not assume that they were going to be getting the first pick, but they did. And so they're probably most likely going to grab this Conor Bedard. Let's get it bedarded in here.
Let's get bedarded. Let's get bedarded. Not it. Let's get it bedarded.
Let's get Bedard in here. Is that how they're gonna? Let's get bedarded in here.
Yeah, let's get bedarded in here. I think that'll catch on. I think that's gonna be a big hit in Chicago at Blackhawk games.
Well, we'll see. Listen, it's a big week for my home state of Illinois. They are also the first state to prohibit book bans. Sorry, dummies. Schools and libraries in the state of Illinois could lose money for pulling books off the shelves under a bill that the governor is expected to resign. You might have noticed that in a lot of these red states, they don't want kids learning certain things. Why? Because of freedom. And so Illinois is getting out in front and going, nope, not going to be any book bans. Is why red states, by the way, love things like child labor and child marriage. Because if kids are working, they're not in school. And having any kind of educated electorate is the last thing that right-wingers want. So that's why they're not satisfied with banning books. You'll see that they're starting to want to do away with libraries altogether in some states. If not closing them down, bleeding them of funding to the point where they can't stay open. Why? because of freedom. So, bravo, Illinois. They'll be the first state to ban book bans, if you will. Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. There's breaking news, too, if you haven't seen the breaking news.
Oh, I seen it.
Seen it?
Alan Cox Show! Exclusive news update!
I'm a little, Trump lost that civil trial they found in favor of E. Jean Carroll. This was the woman who said that Trump raped her in a Bergdorf Goodman changing room 30 years ago. And he didn't really mount any kind of defense. They kind of stumbled all over each other. The jury awarded her $5 million in damages. They found him liable of sexual abuse and forcible touching, and then of defamation, because she put it in her book, and he said, no, this lady's a loser and a liar, and whatever nonsense he spat out at the time. But they did not find him liable for rape, as she had alleged. So I guess I'm curious. I don't know legally what the demarcation point is, if they found him liable of sexual abuse but not of rape, as she alleged. I don't understand that. The jury deliberated for about 3 hours today and found him liable for all that stuff.
He's still going to be y'all's next president.
Well, she'll probably never see that money either, because there are layers of appeals and things like that. And, you know, the guy's not exactly known for paying his bills.
I was going to say, that's why people don't really go to court as it is, because even if you win, they can just appeal it, and it's big bank take little bank, and they'll just put it off.
Well, but some people also want to get it off the books, and so, you know, it's not like nobody ever gets paid in these kinds of lawsuits, and I don't think anybody's shocked by this verdict either, because again, they didn't really mount a defense.
I mean,
I wonder if there's any people that hear this and go, now I don't like Donald Trump.
No.
I know.
I still love him. He's still my guy. He just, you know, need to get his
Because you probably love him more because you're like, ooh, a documentary about him's going to be so nasty.
Because she said this happened in the 90s, so this isn't even remotely new information.
Right. But now that it's like there's a jury that said this happened, are there people that are like, ooh.
No, they don't care about courts
They're
and
bullying
juries.
him.
I know. But I'm just wondering if there's one person out there's like, all right, that was the straw.
No, you don't root for the bully.
Alan, my dad was just watching TikTok videos, and I heard a fart noise in the background, and I'm sad to say I was the first to go, hey, is that Bill Squire? The Bill Squire fart that you're known for.
There's a lot of farts.
A lot of echoey farts, but there's only one Bill Squire echoey fart. Right? There is one fart that goes around on TikTok that I think is fake. Bill's is real.
Mine's real.
His is a Squifle Tower stairwell fart.
Yes.
It's got the trademark initial bubble.
Yes.
Before the full thing is released.
The bubble's how you can tell.
It goes down and then it goes up.
Because there's a lot of people that I think use one where a guy farted at a grocery store into a microphone or into like the phone when they had the like what is that called when
the public address system. Like in Walmart.
Yeah, and he farted into that. And I think that's the one that gets confused for mine a lot. Because mine never went viral. His went viral.
But my point is they're so similar that people associate this with you.
I know.
Man,
appreciate it.
Yeah. People are calling Poundcake Count Gagula. I don't know if that's gonna take off.
Count Gagula.
But you know, something to consider. Does Poundcake realize that the catch is, as a vampire, he is damned to hell?
Yeah, I don't want to go to hell.
Right, but if you never die, theoretically,
there's always a way to kill someone. You gotta do it.
You got it. Just be careful. You can't have garlic.
If they kill my
you
master,
gotta stay away from the sun. You gotta stay away from, stakes to the heart can't be lurking around every corner. If you're a cool guy as a vampire, people aren't going to be trying to take you out.
No, they would kill my master, and if my master dies, I die. My master's the one that made the deal with the devil. So I'm just like, you cute. You know, I'll kick it with you for eternity, but you got to be good to me. He's like, I'll be good to you, but if I go to hell, you got to go too. I don't want to go to hell because of you. So no.
Yeah, but it's not that you die if your master dies, I think, in vampire lore, right? You don't die. You're given your free will.
No.
So I'm pretty sure.
If you die, if you're one of your master's wives, and he's the one that bit you, he dies. Like that's where all your power comes from. You feed off of him. So if he dies,
I thought you were just released from the spell.
No.
Oh.
No.
Where are you citing this from?
Every vampire movie ever. Whenever the master
Yeah, but they've really taken their liberties with vampire movies. They're walking around in the daytime. They got,
they got the sparkly skin, like the stupid Twilight ones.
I watch Near Dark. I've never seen the Twilight movies, but I watch Near Dark, which is this kind of cult classic movie from the 80s. Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen is in it, about these kind of nomadic vampires who are kind of just going across middle America trying to stay alive and sleeping in their van and whatever. It's pretty gritty. But, it's not like when the sunlight hits them, they explode. In some of these movies, they'll burn or they can cover up.
burn and burn and burn.
That's right. That, too. It's not just the buttholes that are burning the gay vampires.
Everyone that practices sodomy from the day of this message will get cancer in the butthole. It'll burn and burn and burn.
Having sex as a vampire would be exhausting. You would never.
Why any more exhausting than any? What?
It would be exhausting because you're like, did you go?
Well, then that's literally not exhausting if you never get tired.
Did you finish? Nope. I can keep going. Like, no.
Oh, you mean mentally exhausting?
Yes.
Right, but you could keep going until they finish. You never get tired.
Ouch.
That's a beautiful thing. So you're not getting exhausted. You're making every single person you bang happy. Happier than they've ever been. None of us can lay claim to that. What a world. None of us can lay claim to that. That every person we've ever had sex with, they walked away skipping down the street. They were whistling a tune. They were feeling the way that they, I'm sure we've all had some home runs.
Oh yeah.
But to have to be able to count on every single person, even if you got your moves down, it might just not be your night. Oh, it'd be great.
My moves vary from person to person. Is that normal? Because there's a bunch of different body types, and if a guy's taller than me, all my moves go out the window.
You got to break out the rope ladder. I get it.
My moves are for people 5'11" and under. Like anyone 6 foot and taller, like Like for whatever reason, taller people I sleep with are always bottoms. And I'm like, I need a stool.
There's probably stool. Anywho, listen, so you've got a height requirement is what you're saying. You've got a maximum height requirement.
Well, no, I'll still do it. I just have to change things around. Like, you can't just be a big Nelly bottom and be like 6'5".
I was making a right turn this morning. I had a real quick, I didn't realize that I was low on gas, and so I had to make kind of a quick detour to get some gas this morning. As I'm getting back onto the highway, I'm waiting to turn right at the red. And right across the way there, right in front of my car, is a dwarf on a tiny bicycle in a bright yellow, like hazard vest. Like he's either I assume he's on his way to wherever he works. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm sitting there waiting to turn anyway, right? I'm just coming to work. And he just crosses right in front of my car on his merry way. It's just something you don't see all the time. And so back to your height requirement, if that guy had been riding to your house, you probably would have been just as concerned with his diminutive stature as somebody who's really, really tall.
Yeah, I don't know the shortest person I've been with, but I definitely know, like, the tallest.
I mean, listen, people can get really short.
Yeah, I've been with...
You date some short people.
Like, I've been with, like, a 6'7" guy, and he was...
You ever dated somebody who was 2'6"?
I have not.
I definitely dated 2 6s.
But if you date them together, they make a 12.
Well, but you don't want them to find out that you're dating both of them at the same time. That's the trick.
Yeah.
Both of them together are a really hot chick.
Are one person?
If you put them together, have a,
Well, again, but again, these are all hypothetical points of, if you met somebody you really, really liked and they were tall, you'd be like, okay, I'll figure this out.
I know.
I'll figure it out.
I will figure it out, but I've said don't expect me to, knock it out of the park. right away. It's really going to take some time to get to the rhythm. Like when you have a taller person that you're sleeping with and you're like the alpha, like you're supposed to be like the top, it's awkward. Like it's awkward because you got to get them in like the submissive positions and their body tells you that, no, why are you bending me this way? I don't go down this low. Like my knees
Why
don't
are
bend
you
like
bending me this way? There's no conversation.
Well,
You
we
just
do
like-
have a conversation, but still, I got to get my swing. Like I'm used to people like
Gotta get my swing.
5'11" is like perfect for me. I found out 5'11" to like 5'6", between 5'11" is great. Anything shorter than that, I can deal with because I consider that like a spinner. But yeah, it's awkward. But I'll still do it. I feel like that's a basketball player. 6'7" is like a short basketball player. I can do that.
A short basketball player is
It's like
6'7".
an
is what
average, I would say. It's pretty average.
yeah.
How tall is McBoyfriend?
Oh, he's like my height.
I was gonna say he doesn't look
Okay,
tall.
yeah.
He's like 5'8", 5'9".
So he's right in that wheelhouse where you like it.
Yeah, no, it's not
Right in
awkward.
his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Is it that somebody tall would be initially intimidating? Just
It's not intimidating.
it's not intimidation. Okay.
It's not intimidating. It's just awkward positions. Like if they're straddling me, you got a lot of leg that I got to move around. Like I'm like, all right, let me. Try
You got
this
too.
way.
Why'd you break up with Ella's boyfriend? He had too much leg.
He got too much leg. I'm trying to like, thrust, and he's like, oh, sorry, got a cramp. Like, all right, we'll try this. I know. I just need to stuff some pillows underneath me or underneath you. Stack you up, and we'll be fine.
There are a number of number of WMMS street team, whatever that consists of these days, street team appearances at Circle K in the area. And they came to me early on and wanted me to do them. And I said, no, I will not do them because I'm preparing for this show. I said, here's what you do. You get a picture of me and you render it in cardboard. And then you set that up at these appearances. And if people want to take pictures of it, they'll ultimately defile it or do something awful to me, but whatever. So there are a few cardboard Allens that are out there.
I saw you posing with one last week.
And I think that when these appearances are all done, you should take one of those, Poundcake.
Certainly will.
And you should put it outside your door and then say, you have to be this tall to ride. And then people who come over, I know you have a McBoyfriend, but I mean, boy, God forbid if something goes out there and you're back to being single Poundcake, then at least you've got that. There's a QR code on my palm. I'm sure we could probably repurpose that somehow. They could just, you could get your own QR code on there, and then they could scan it, and it would have all of your specifications on a site.
You won't feel weird about me using your body as like a...
It's not his body.
It's not my body.
But it's a life size.
No, they rendered it shorter than it would be, which I didn't know cardboard was so expensive. I don't know why, but it's like shorter than I would. It's not full. It should
Not
be life
full
size.
size, but it's a little like
It's like
just a little bit short.
Yeah, it's
That's
weird.
funny.
Well, if I do that, I don't want
What?
I don't want to hear any fuss like, oh, Poundcake has, if people snitch. Poundcake has, your picture outside of his door.
No, I just said you should do it.
Okay,
It's not
just
snitching.
making sure.
Yeah, I don't know how many of them there are.
Like, hey, this is my boss and I love him. He gave me a job. Why would I not have him outside my door? I have
Sure.
him above my bed.
There you go. As soon as I get this laminated, it's gonna be
right.
full steam
I'm gonna
ahead.
put it in work.
Otherwise, it's one use only.
I've got to